Hey there, welcome to Sweet 301. It's November. It's that time of year. It's turkey season. Time to eat some stuffing, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and get your tryptophan on. I'm Sandy Sanderson with Eric Curatori here. And again, this is Sweet 301. This is our monthly webisode where we touch base on everything going on in Colt Club sports and give you the opportunity to chime in, add content to the show, and hopefully make it a great 45-minute segment here and educate you on what's going on.
Yeah, as Sandy was saying, the show is interactive. You know, we want to hear from you. Call in 412-321-8440, extension 108. If you want to talk to us or submit a question, just use that chat box there on the side. Also follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates throughout the show and what's coming up. Twitter handles at Colt Club Sports, the NCFA, the NCBA, and just NCSA. On the softball Twitter account. So how about we get into it and bring Mitch on board, talk some basketball.
Sounds good. Mitch, come on down. We're going to talk about some basketball, I believe.
Yeah. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Outstanding.
How are you? Long time no see.
I'm doing well, thanks.
So the season's officially started, huh? How's it going?
Almost a month in. Going very well. Teams have some non-conference games scheduled. They're competing, playing in a few tournaments, hosting some tournaments. So it's got off to a great start here so far.
How many teams are we up to and how many conferences?
We're sitting at 21 teams right now. Hopefully we'll have that up to between 23 and 25 by the end of the week, depending on who can get on board and get their paperwork in. We've been talking to a lot of teams, a lot of different teams who are looking to get, or who have a high interest in joining the league. So once they get everything straightened out with their team, their coordinators and everything.
Very cool. Who are some of those new teams?
Greenville Tech and Hofstra are the highest priority right now, as in they have gotten the furthest with their respective schools and have done the most to get involved here so far. We have teams like JMU, Georgetown, Rutgers, Central Michigan, ECU, Elon, Loyola New Orleans, teams like that who have talked to me and said, hey, we want to get involved. What do we need to do? And we've started to take the next steps to get into the league.
So not to put you on the spot, but what's the goal, the big number that we're shooting for here?
Well, the goal is as many as possible.
For this year.
Would love to see the number get up to 40. I think that would be a great number to have 6 solid conferences. You had asked earlier how many conferences we had. We have 6. And we want 6 solid conferences so each team has good competition to play. And then you get a good feel for who's going to be the conference champion to head into the national championship.
Very cool. Very cool. If somebody's out there watching right now, they're at a school that has a club basketball team, but they're not in the league yet. They haven't talked to you. How do they go about getting into the league and getting through that process? Well,
I definitely want to talk to me so we can tailor each process specifically to you and your school's needs. My email is mitch.connor@coltclubsports.com, but you're probably better served just calling me 412-321-8440, extension 105. You want to get on this sooner than later so we can save you some money. If you can get in by the end of the month, we can save you. We waive the new team registration fee. That'll save you between $100 and $200 depending on what the president decides to make that fee. So let's get on that sooner than later. We can work through it. Talk to your club sports director, see what needs to be done to get you involved in the league. So definitely come talk to me and we'll get things rolling for you.
Very cool.
And we've got, you mentioned you've got teams playing right now, but that's non-conference. We've got all the conference schedules set up for the spring so that it leads right down to the wire, the conference race, because winning your conference is what's important to get to the national championship tournament. So we got that all set up for the spring, and like you mentioned, now you're recruiting certain spots of the country, the Mid-Atlantic, the South Atlantic, the Gulf Coast area, to boost enrollment in those areas. So,
right, and you want to be playing your best basketball heading into those conference games because, like you said, those are how you determine your conference champion and who's going to go to that national championship. So be playing at your highest level, have the most games under your belt, the most practices, so you all know yourself the best.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, we got some time here. Let's talk about the national championship venue, where it's going to be and everything.
Sure. We'll bring Sandy in on this since he did a lot of the work to secure this facility for us, but it's going to be at the Kerr Fitness Center, Coach Scott Lang Court at LaRoche College here in Pittsburgh.
Yes, it was we have a good relationship with the varsity baseball team there at La Roche, and working with them, their varsity baseball coach got promoted to facilities director. So him and I were in a conversation, non-work related, and it just so happened the idea of using their facility came up, and went out, took a tour. Beautiful, small college arena. They just added some advanced electronics to it, and so now we've got some video replay abilities that we'll be able to incorporate into the national championship game. So we're excited about that, and the location is pretty centralized with so many of our teams being rather in the northern part of the United States, and just seemed like a great fit, and excited to be taking this inaugural event there.
Absolutely, the facility is awesome. Like you said, it's got a small college feel, but I think the way the facility is set up, we get some fans and some teams in there, and that place is going to get loud in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody's got a good view of the court, whether it be from the upper rotunda or from the bleachers heading down the court side. Plenty of locker room space. It's it's Pittsburgh. It's easy to get in and out of. It's highway accessible. It's airport accessible for those teams that are coming from far. And now we got to go to work setting up some hotel options for the teams, and that's on me while you sign teams. So good stuff.
Good stuff, guys.
All right, so that's the end of our basketball segment, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're a team that's already in the league, make sure you've gotten your basketballs already. Every team gets 4 free Wilson Evolution basketballs with that NCBVA stamp. Now there's a couple teams that still need to do that.
Well, while you're here, one of the other hats you wear is you're a Richardson sponsor account manager, so you handle all their headwear orders. Why don't you go and talk to us a little bit about what's going on with Richardson these days?
Sure. A lot of teams have placed their orders already, and that's great. The end of November is very significant for us because we have an extra $1 off per item promotion that ends at the end of November. So you need to get your order placed before then. That does not mean talk to me on November 30th and say, hey, we want to place our hat order. We probably won't get it done in time. So start talking to me now, so that by the end of November we can have your order placed and save yourself that extra money. Richardson is way more than just baseball hats. A lot of people think, oh, only baseball teams take advantage of that. They have visors, they have beanies, they have all kinds of winter apparel. So if you're in one of those states that has a pretty harsh winter, get yourself outfitted for the cold weather. If you're looking for an additional fundraising opportunity besides the ones that Kelsey can offer you, buy some hats and sell them for a profit. It's really a great discount. It can be close to 50% off of MSRP price when it's all said and done. So it's really a great opportunity to make some good money on a beautiful product.
Yeah, and every dad, whether it be a softball dad, a baseball dad, football or basketball dad, wants a team cap to wear. He's not out on the court sweating it out. He's up in the stands, but he'd love to have a Towson Club basketball hat or a Penn State Club softball hat to show his support of the team.
And Christmas is just around the corner.
So
orders take between 3 and 4 weeks to get done. So if you get it placed now, well, you'll have it just in time for Christmas. So get on it.
All right. Now, let's see. We're also talking about while we're here. Eric is in charge of Rawlings. And what do we got going on? We got an early discount period that's ending soon for baseball and softball.
Same idea as Mitch's Richardson. We have a big discount that ends on the 30th of this month. Baseball, softball teams get 40% off, which is obviously a very big discount. Softball with Worth as well with their uniforms, brand new this year. But now is a great time to get your uniforms, get your equipment, get your helmets, get whatever you may need for the year because you're going to save that extra 5%. Which doesn't sound like a lot when you're still saving $35 after the 30th, but that 5% can save you hundreds of dollars. So it's definitely a good time to get your orders in, price quotes. I'll walk you through the process. I have electronic catalogs for you, so definitely now is the time to contact me, and we'll get it going for you. On the other side of the spectrum, football, the discount goes up for you. Seeing as your season's coming to a close here, now is definitely the time to start planning for the spring. You're gonna have your 7-on-7. You're gonna have your spring practices. You're going to have, a lot of stuff that you're still going to do in the spring that, you want to plan for. So definitely get in contact with me and we'll get it going for you.
And those of you that are out there wondering, like, why is there a discount period? Rawlings and Richardson, in order to try to drive more traffic and business towards where their slow periods, they offer bigger discounts during those slow periods to try to get more, business in there. When they're packed to the gills with orders in their busy time of year, that's when you got to pay full price, and that discount isn't available. So, all right, good stuff. Well, thank you, Mitch. Appreciate you stopping into the show, and
seeing you
look
soon.
forward to Good. Lots more to talk about next month. Sweet 301 on basketball.
Let's bring Keith on the set, huh?
All righty, Keith, our football guru. Lots of it now. It's obviously November.
This is the best time of the year.
It's the best time. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, football season is quickly winding down.
Yeah,
We
We got 3 weeks.
conference championships this weekend, and 2 weeks from that, after that, we've got the national championship bowl game.
So what's going on?
Right now we're getting into the conference championship games, and I know I probably speak for Sandy and I when I say, I don't think you could ask for better matchups in any of our 3 conferences that are playing. You have in the South Atlantic, you have OC Tech at Middle Georgia State. That was a week 1 matchup, so those are 2 very different teams from that week 1. Yeah, and that was actually the closest game I believe that Middle Georgia State had. I believe they only won by maybe 2 touchdowns or less, which they're putting up some points this year, so that's actually kind of holding the team down. And then you have Robert Morris and Miami playing in the GLC conference championship game, and that one's actually at Wright State. That's a neutral site game. That's the first time we've done that as well, so that's pretty exciting for the Great Lakes Conference.
And that's a very exciting matchup with 2 teams undefeated in each division of their conference, and Robert Morris being a first-year team. We don't know much about them other than they've been pretty much taking care of business the whole year long.
And they've been putting up points, big points. I know I mentioned a few weeks ago on the NCFA Twitter that actually Robert Morris had been putting up the most points in the entire league, even over Middle Georgia State, that would surprise a lot of people. But, Robert Morris is one of those teams that has just silently been there the entire year, and no one's really, thought too much about them because they're so new. You kind of expect them to fall off, as the season went along. They just haven't. So that's a big conference game. And then you have George Mason and Coppin State. Obviously Coppin State is that perennial powerhouse, that we've, come to know. However, last weekend, George Mason held them to 16 points. That's the least amount of points that Coppin State has been able to put up in their entire time in the NCFA. So George Mason actually held them, lost 12-6, but that's a tough game. I'm sure U plays could have gone differently and, completely changed the outcome of that game. So I'm very excited about that Mid-Atlantic Conference Championship.
Absolutely. Another exciting matchup. Back-to-back weeks are going to match up with each other.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat a team twice in a row.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we can't be at 3 places at once to see all this stuff. So
absolutely.
So they are going to be good matchups.
With that said, let's talk bowl game. Predictions? Who do you think is going to be there? The outcome?
I hate being that front runner who always picks the number 1 seeds like the.
It's a safe bet.
But I'm gonna guess that Coppin State and Middle Georgia State will be there. I don't see Middle Georgia State, falling from them top 2 spots, even if they were to lose their conference. They've run the table all year long. And really, Coppin State, they're kind of, playing for a way into that game, that national championship game. If they lose to George Mason and Miami wins, we might be having a different talk, here in a couple of days. But, for right now, I think that Coppin State and Middle Georgia State are going to be the 2 to face off. I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup if they do.
Well, Middle Georgia State's, in my opinion, Middle Georgia State, they've been virtually flawless all year long.
Absolutely.
Undefeated in conference, undefeated overall, playing a lot of football. They've got, the number 1 ranking in the coaches poll, number 1 ranking in the power rankings. I think their ticket is pretty much punch. Yeah. They've got OC Tech ahead of them. And I think there's even, if they should falter to OC Tech, I think there's a chance they'd still possibly get into that championship game as the number 2 ranked team. The rest is a big question mark to me. Coppin State, has had a good season so far, undefeated in conference. Defending national champion, very highly regarded in the coaches poll. But if you look at Miami, in their power rankings, how they've been progressing the last, 6 weeks. Every week up 2 spots, 3 spots. Boom, they're gaining all this momentum. And, in our last power rankings, they were up to 4th. The new power rankings come out tomorrow, and I have a gut feeling they're going to jump to 3 in those power rankings. So they're going to be right on the heels of Coppin State.
Absolutely.
Coppin State had a tough game last weekend where they came out victorious over George Mason. I think if Coppin drops that game to George Mason, they're going to be left at home out of the national championship picture.
Very possible.
Which makes that Robert Morris and Miami Great Lakes Conference Championship game a huge game.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking who I think is going to pull that game out because I know Miami's a quality team.
Yeah.
You know Miami's a quality team. You know, Robert Morris is having a great season, but we just don't know that much about him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens on the field. But, you know, I think it's going to be, you know, a logjam for those power rankings, who's going to finish in that 2 spot. So.
And you know, even Robert Morris, if they beat Miami and Coppin State loses, you know, they have the ability to make that jump. You know, they have, you know, a high number of games played. You know, they're ranked high every week in the coaches poll as well. So, you know, Robert Morris isn't even necessarily out of it. This is the first time I think we look down our coaches poll, our rankings, and see the top 4 teams that close to that coveted number 2 spot. You know, I don't think we've had that before.
No, absolutely. The coaches poll is going to be such a big factor in you know, how these final power rankings shake out. So.
Speaking of which, we got a phone call right here.
All right, what do we got?
What do you say, Keith?
Cold Club Sports, this is Keith.
Yep, this is Matt Boucher. How are you?
Matt, club president for Miami Club Football. Great having you on Suite 301.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Big matchup coming up this weekend. First of all, congratulations on taking the Great Lakes East crown. I mean, I know you had a tough game with my Wright State this weekend. You know, it was really a winner-take-all for the division. And you guys came out on top and with a little style points, it looks like.
Yeah, it was a great win. We're glad to host Wright State. They're always a good competition every year. They had some good athletes. You know, it was a good thing that our offense clicked when it did, and we were only able to give up a few points on defense, but it was a good win for us. I knew that it was a winner-go-home situation, so that was great.
Matt, with Miami needing to win this game, obviously, to have a shot at returning to the national championship, what's being done to prepare this week for that big Robert Morris game?
Well, just for this week, especially, I know that we've done it the past couple of weeks because we knew that this is kind of the playoff mode sort of deal that we've been dealing with. Which we had a huge game against Ohio State, and we had these tough conference games that we've been playing. So I've been preparing a little bit extra more, doing some extra things every day. I know that specifically, we instead of practicing maybe 3 times this week, we're going to sit down and maybe go over some of the film that we've done just from our previous games, to really just break down and just try to get some kind of mental scheme ready for Saturday, because we know that Robert Morris, they're a good, talented team, so we need to make sure that we have no mistakes and play perfect football in order to win the championship.
With that being said, what's the biggest threat that you think Robert Morris presents to you guys? I mean, you guys have both played Ohio State this year, so there might be a little bit of film floating around out there. What do you guys know about Robert Morris?
As far as we know, that they are a very talented team. They have some big guys. I know that they seem like that they put up a good amount of points. Not a whole lot that we know about them. I know that we might try to see maybe Ohio State would like to give us any kind of information. Maybe that they'll do the same thing for Robert Morris. Not really sure, but I just know that they're a very talented team, and we're looking forward to playing them.
Great. What does it mean for you in the program and for the entire school to be back in another conference championship game and to be, having that chance to play for a back-to-back, national title appearance?
I know that, just with myself being a senior and some of the other seniors, this is a huge deal. This has been our goal, since November 18th when we woke up the next morning and said, we got to get back to the national championship. We got to win it all. So from that point on, we've been always preparing, always getting ready to go. Now we just got to make the dream come true. I know that Saturday, Robert Morris is a good team. We're going to try to go through and hopefully win the conference championship, see if we can get the standing and get to the conference championship, or the national championship, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Matt, it was great having you on the show with us today. Best of luck to you in your game. Hopefully we get that chance to see you guys back at the national championship this coming year.
That'd be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Matt.
Bye.
All right. Matt Boucher from Miami Club Football.
Yeah.
Sort of wonder, do they get an edge in this game over Robert Morris because, Miami has the experience of playing championship football, being in that championship game last year. Like you said, they've been in a playoff race. They've been approaching as a playoff race. If we lose to Ohio State, we're done. They win.
Yep.
If we lose to Wright State, we're done. They win.
Yep.
Right now they know if they lose to Robert Morris, they're done. If they win, they've got a shot. So, and Robert Morris is probably approaching this a little differently, I would think, with the whole, we're a new team.
Nothing to lose.
We're nothing to lose. Fifth or fourth in the country in our first year. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
They've got they've already had a tremendous season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Even if it ends this weekend. So
Absolutely.
We'll see.
And for Miami, they, like you said, they have that experience playing in that tough game. I know people might look back at that championship game from last year and think that maybe they don't deserve it. That Coppin State team last year was no joke.
Oh, no.
They would have done that to any team in the country. I have full belief in that. I think that this Miami team is going to be hungry. It's going to be very tough to beat them. I don't know how they're going to play on the road necessarily. They're not getting that home game like the other conferences are getting, so that could play a little bit of a factor. But yeah, like you said, Miami's going to be tough to beat. That's for sure.
All right. We're going to be joined soon by Coach Peacock with Robert Morris. He's going to be calling in to join us as well, and we look forward to that. But in the meantime, we just want to make sure out there that the NCFA National Championship Bowl Game Selection Show is going to air next Monday, a week from yesterday at what time?
At noon.
At noon.
Yep.
You're right here. You can come to Ustream. It'll be all over Facebook and the NCFA website will be, going through, calculating all the coaches' polls, the power rankings, and we're going to release the number 1 and number 2 ranked power ranking teams live online. And hopefully get calls in from the coaches of those teams as we go through the process. We did this last year. It got a tremendous response. I know a lot of the teams gathered together, huddled up, watched the show live. So it's not a long show, probably 20 minutes.
If that, yeah.
And really set the stage for the national championship game on November 7th.
This is something that a lot of people don't even know about. So, hopefully, even those teams that don't make it, tune in to watch this. This is the teams that you played all year against. These are the teams that you were voting to put in this game, in the coaches poll. It's definitely worth, tuning in to watch this. This is exciting stuff, for club sports.
Absolutely. And, just to touch base, again, these are the last power rankings here. We're out of time, I think.
Let's keep going.
Okay. As of last week's power rankings, Middle State obviously ranked number 1 in the power rankings. The gap between 1 and 2, they hands down had a huge lead over everybody else in the power rankings. Now, Coppin State, Robert Morris, and Miami, it's kind of a logjam back there for the second place spot. Coppin State in the 2 spot. Last week, Robert Morris in 3, Miami in 4. Robert Morris was off this past week. Miami played. I think that's going to cause Miami the 3 spot in the power rankings this week. So they're all right on each other's heels, and that coaches poll, the results of this final coaches poll is going to have a big factor in who ends up in that number 2 spot. So, and we're going to work very diligently this coming weekend to get scores posted and announced in real time as soon as they happen. As soon as we can get word from all the conference championship sites, we're going to get that information out on the web. So you at home following along can track the progress as we lead into Selection Monday.
All right, that sounds good.
Awesome. Got anything else for us, Keith?
No, that's it. I'm extremely excited. This is a great time of the year for us. So we'll just see how these conference championships go, and it's going to be crazy next week. I can tell you that much.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Keith.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
I guess Coach Peacock is not going to make it.
I don't think he's available at the moment. If he calls in, it'd be great to talk to him.
All
but I
right.
think we're just going to move on to Savannah.
All right,
so,
sounds good.
Sav should be calling in. We're going to talk some spring training. So while we wait for a call, I'm looking forward to next Monday. That show is very exciting. So hopefully we can get some scores quick here.
Is that us?
I think that's Sav.
Savannah.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. How are you doing?
Good.
Excellent. Good to have you back on the show, of course. Savannah, our director of softball operations and spring training operations. How's things going in the world of club softball?
Things are going great. We're not done yet. I noticed that baseball is pretty much all tied up, but softball is still going to be playing even this weekend. So
Oh, wow.
a lot of things that could still happen, even in the fall. So it's been a pretty exciting fall season so far, and it leaves a lot open for the spring, which I'm super excited about, because in the past, a lot of things have been decided maybe towards the end of the fall, a lot of conferences, but this year that's not the case at all. So.
Outstanding. Yeah, I'm looking here at the the November polls, and I mean there's some exciting stuff I see there. A lot of movement, and shake and so forth. Some teams really that we normally see in the polls are high up in the polls this month. So why don't you go run us through that?
Right. Well, obviously Florida State's still up there. They're 7-0 in the fall in non-conference play. So. Obviously haven't given us a reason to not vote them number one, but then you were right. Washington and shaken in the other areas. Got teams like Penn State, Illinois, Ohio, and Air Force, Grandview, Navy, Virginia Tech, all those teams, that normally go to the World Series have been playing very well this fall, and thus have been getting a lot of votes. But then you've got teams that haven't been ranked at all, Miami, UNC Charlotte, and Nebraska coming into the top 15, which is super exciting because UNC Charlotte's a brand new team. They're a new team this season. And UNC Charlotte and Nebraska, neither one of them have ever been in the top 15, ever.
That's exciting. Yeah, I know Charlotte's a brand new team to the league, so, we don't normally expect brand new teams to have that much. Nebraska's been around for a while now and really hasn't made much noise, so that's good for them to see them having success and recognition.
Agreed.
I also see Ohio State up there in the number spot. I know they've been having a really good fall season so far. I think they got a shot at making a run at that national title.
I think this year's going to be a good one for them. I mean, last year they played so hard at the World Series and, only had a very small amount of girls coming to the series. They're obviously going to be working on changing that this year. So I think they got their head in the right places, that's for sure.
And what are the things also interesting? Not a whole lot of undefeated teams out there like there normally are, is there?
Right, exactly. Even Illinois dropping 2 to Eastern Illinois ends up, closing out that conference barely. A shout out to their pitcher who's had 2 no-hitters the past 2 weekends. So that's been pretty huge for them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's move on to some training. We just passed the deadline, right?
We passed the deadline for baseball. Softball spring training deadline is coming up. On the softball side of things, it's December 1st, so teams definitely need to be getting things in and working on that. I know Kelsey's been working hard on that, working with the softball team. So if you're on the fence, definitely give Chelsea or I a call, or Eric, and we'll let you know what it's all about. So as far as the baseball deadline, the early registration discounted deadline was the 15th, but we will be signing the baseball teams for another 2-3 weeks.
Okay. And what on the baseball side of things, what teams do we have registered? Some of the big name teams out there that.
Well, we have 50 teams already registered, which is by far the most we've ever had registered by this time in the year. It's actually been kind of nuts. We actually broke our record for most teams in a single week. It'll be 21 teams so far in week 2.
It's going to be a crazy week.
Lots of interesting matchups that could definitely come into play. Teams, perennial powerhouse teams like Pitt and Penn State, Virginia Tech, Illinois, the Wisconsin teams, basically the entire Great Lakes region is coming. If you're the 2 teams that aren't coming out of the Great Lakes, then you should feel bad about yourself.
They're going to have a tough shot competing in conference play with no games under their belt when everybody else is.
I can pretty much guarantee that those teams will not make the playoffs.
Uh-oh.
You've heard it here first.
Uh-oh. All right. All right, so what do teams need to do right now if they still want to come to Plant City?
Get in your paperwork. The contract and the schedule request form is super easy. You can scan and email or fax it right over to Eric, LCRI, and then your deposit. DMCs aren't due till the end of January, so.
All right, sounds good. All right, Savs, appreciate you joining us on the show, giving us updates on softball and spring training, but we got to go. You heard the buzzer.
Sounds great. See you later.
Later, Sam.
All right, catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, who's up
I
next?
think we got Christian coming
Christian.
up. Let's talk some D2
Smitty.
baseball here.
Smed's up in it.
How you doing there, Christian?
Doing good, Eric.
It's good to see you
Hi,
again.
Sandy.
Hi, Christian.
How are you? It smells weird
I'm
out
well.
here.
So, Christian, we just wrapped up the fall season here.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Greenville Fall Invitational.
Yeah, Eric,
How'd
you
we
were
do?
there. It was.
How did we do?
I think we did okay. Yeah, and before we get a zoom in on that, I know that camera work's not on Sandy right now, but we do have some merchandise available. We got some hats, some T-shirts, some
Dry fits.
some dry fits available for you to buy. Contact me, Eric. We can get you that set up. But all in all, the tournament was a successful tournament. It was our second year. I think this year again we learned some different things that will make the tournament better next year. To give you a brief little recap, we had ECU winning it for the second year in a row. ECU's a great baseball team, but we had a lot of other great baseball teams. East Carolina faced Elon in the championship game. ECU won 10-3. The semifinals before East Carolina defeating UNC Wilmington 6-2, and then Elon beating USC Union 7. So we had a lot of competitive games. I believe is the recap up online somewhere?
Yeah, the recap was up the day after the tournament ended. It's got all the scores. It's got
Yeah.
everything on there, all the information about the pools and everything.
And we hope to make it a 16-team tournament. That was our goal this year. We had a couple teams back out last minute. But it is our goal to get to 16 teams. Hopefully we'll, by chance, maybe get another field in the mix. But
Yeah, it went very well. It went very well.
it
Great
went
weather.
Very well.
All the
Very
teams
well,
were
good
happy.
weather. Teams were happy. We had a blast as a staff. So we're excited about it next year, hopefully getting it back down to Greenville. So.
Yeah, for sure. Already looking forward to it. So
Absolutely.
now that the fall season's over, what's
Yep.
what's going on with the NCBA?
Well, yeah, like Eric said, the fall season just ended, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. I think now for teams, I mean, this is the time for you to start budgeting and start fundraising and gearing up for the spring season. So I think that's what a lot of teams in the NCBA are doing at this point since the fall season's over. Did get a lot of games in this fall for teams in districts 1, 2, 4, and 5 on the Division II level. But yeah, I think right now it's just about teams budgeting, fundraising, and gearing up for the spring season,
Got
which
any
is coming up soon.
new teams to talk about
I
since
think
last
since
month?
the last show, we've added 2 more teams, High Point University and Spring Hill College. Those are 2 from that weren't members the last time we saw each other, which brought us up to 250, which was a goal of ours to get to 250. We're really excited about that. I think it's split almost dead even. D1 has 126
and 124.
and Division II has 124. So just keeps gaining and gaining, and we're excited about it.
And with that realignment, University of Houston has transitioned from Division II to Division I, joined the Great Lakes, which has brought the Great Lakes back to a 3
Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast back to a 3-conference region, which means for the first time in NCBA history, Division I, all 8 regions are going to be consist of 3 conferences with an at-large bid to their regionals. So
It's exciting.
it is exciting. It really is, and it's another small step closer to our goal of where we want to be. And tip my hat to you, Christian. Keep signing those teams.
Try my best. I'm trying my best. So, yeah, but that's exciting. If you want to call it a milestone as far as teams goes, 250, and each year we're just trying to gain more and more, and get to the ultimate goal of having, even at the Division II level, having 3 conferences where we have that at-large bid. So
Good.
hopefully we'll be there soon.
How's everything else going? World Series locations and everything?
Yeah, I hope everybody knows that, at least at the Division II level, I'll speak for D2, we are going back to Paducah I know the 8 teams that made it to Paducah last year were really, really excited about it. I know there's probably some apprehension when they heard Paducah, but teams love the city. Teams love the field. So we're excited to get back there. We signed the same hotel, which was another huge thing for us because I know the teams loved it. The Paducah Drury Inn & Suites, where teams can put 6 guys in a room. They have free breakfast. They basically have a free dinner. So it's saving teams a ton of money there. We're excited about it. We can't wait to get to Paducah. It's just an awesome town, and I hope the teams are excited about it too.
Real quick, back in Tampa. Do you want?
Yeah, we're back to the University of Tampa, the final year of a 2-year contract. So which means at the time we're also starting to look for 2015 now, exploring our options there. But we're excited to head back to the University of Tampa again. We've signed a new host hotel with the Doubletree.
Yep.
The Doubletree. I've talked to a lot of hotels in the last month, so they all start to run together. The Doubletree we signed with, right on the water, beautiful place, and details in a press release will be coming out about that shortly.
Very cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Sandy.
See you, Christian.
I'll see you guys soon.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Have fun storming the castle.
I will.
All right. So what's next on our agenda?
I believe we got Ryan Norris calling in.
The Ryan Norris?
The Ryan Norris.
The Ryan.
It's a big deal.
Is this the Ryan Norris?
I don't know. Just because I live in Ohio doesn't mean I have to put "the" in front of everything.
Oh, it's
Oh,
like
no.
Wow. That was tremendous. I
That was
feel
really
like
quick too.
can't believe
And
it's
state guys love that. I knew you would.
absolutely. My wife calls herself the Amanda Sanderson. So, that's what I get for marrying an Ohio State fan. So, but you're right on point. Hey, Norris, it's great to have you on, and I know we're going to be spending some time together here in the next couple of weeks at the NCAA championship game, where you'll be going to be doing the play-by-play. Excited for that. But right now, this phone call is all about the Gulf Coast Conference and your 5th annual Wood Wars tournament. The floor is yours.
By the way, I'm loving the new setup with the PTI type of timer up there. I love it.
Absolutely. That's Kelsey's touch. We brought in a new producer, and she put her thumbprint on it. So it's good stuff.
Excellent. Well, let's get right into the tournament because usually I spend almost all the time that I have talking about it. So let's jump right into it. This year we, like Christian and Eric, we sought out to have the first 16-team tournament ever, and we got pretty close. We had 16 signed up, and we had 2 at the last minute that backed out, so we ended up with 14. And by far and away our most challenging year at Wood Wars in Dallas. We did move the location, so that's the first big thing that changed, along with increasing the size from 12 to 14. We moved just up the road to a facility that actually is the home of our Division I Gulf Coast Regional. They have 4 back-to-back fields, high school level fields, and fans can watch as many as 4 games at a time, which is pretty cool to watch 8 teams play at one time. It's a pretty neat experience. It's the first time we've had that. So jumping right into the game, so we had some very diverse pools. We had Division II teams, Division I teams. We had teams coming from all the way over in Alabama. We had the University of Alabama came over, and thought it was a pretty diverse pool. When you got right down to it, I felt like there was probably anywhere from 6 to 8 teams out of the 14 that I felt like could have won it. So it was very competitive. You always have to look at the top Division I teams in the Gulf Coast when you're talking Wood Wars, and obviously you have to start with Texas A&M. They came in, they had won 4 in a row. They'd won actually all 4 that I had ever hosted, and they certainly left no room for error for themselves. They made it pretty dramatic. They won their pool on a come-from-behind win over Texas Tech. They were down 1-0 with nobody out and nobody aboard in the 7th, and sparked a rally and ended up winning that 3-1. But they ran into probably the biggest Cinderella that we've had at Wood Wars so far, and that's Lone Star College. They were terrific. They came from behind in their pool. They needed
bag bunt. And over the course of the 9 innings that they played, that actually ended up being the only hit for Lone Star.
Oh, wow.
So pretty unique game, pretty unique tournament. Hoping for maybe as many as 18 next year. So we're going to have it back at the same location, and we're going to try to do it even bigger and even better.
That's the way you do it in Texas, isn't it?
Last thing I need to add real quick is probably about the new event that we added.
Yeah, the Swing It, right?
Friday night at the tournament, we added a new event called Swing It. And really the genesis of this event was we wanted something big, something bold, something for teams to get in the same location and have fun. And if you were involved in last year's Home Run Derby, for the league at the World Series, wind and weather and things like that were a factor. And, the teams had trouble hitting home runs. And so I said, well, let's do something where you don't necessarily have to be a big guy or a strong guy or cleanup hitter. You can be any kind of hitter. It can be any kind of weather, and teams and fans can still have fun. So we had targets all over the field. We had 14 teams participating. Winning team was SMU. They walked away with $300 in cash. We had 2 fans that were sitting in the stands that walked away with $50 gift cards. I think we probably had about 400 or 500 people in attendance. So it was a pretty great event.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I know we talked quite a bit about Swing It leading up to it, and I'm glad to hear it was a success in rolling it out for the first time. And congratulations once again on another successful Wood Wars. While we certainly like the A&M team, and it's nice to see somebody else get to take the trophy home, isn't it?
It is, and I'll tell you what, Texas is definitely a deserving team. I thought they were very good all tournament. To drop one game to Baylor, I knew that was going to one game to Baylor, but that's a really good Baylor team. But maybe I'll leave you with this. I always drop a prediction on you for who my Division I and Division II representative is going to be, and I've been perfect in every year that I've done this, except for the first one, which I didn't give a prediction. So I'm actually, even though Texas A&M dropped Wood Wars, I think they're going to get it, but I think they're going to get it by the skin of their teeth.
All righty.
And I think they'll be the Division I representative in the Gulf Coast. And for Division II, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm actually going to pick TCU.
TCU. Oh, I thought you were going to say LSU, but
It's not a team I would have picked.
All right. Well, good stuff. All right, Ryan, we got to let you go, but we appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll
Later, Norris.
see you at the NCFA National Championship game here in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
Dead Boys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. All right, I think that's going to wrap things up for today's Sweet 301. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoyed the show. Definitely thank you to those who called in and helped contribute to the content. And before we go, Eric, it's only 9 days from Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for this year?
I'm thankful to have a nice big family to go home to for Thanksgiving and just eat a lot of food for a good 4-day stretch there.
Is that going to be Chicago?
Chicago. Back home, yep. How about
Outstanding. This year, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to be thankful for...
Did something happen?
Yeah, my wife and I had a son, Taggart Camden Sanderson, so he's 10 pounds as of yesterday, so I'm thankful for him. He's healthy. He's starting to sleep a little bit. Very thankful for that.
Exciting.
We're very blessed. So
don't forget, next episode, December 17th, 3:01 p.m. Excuse me. You can find a recording of today's show at www.ustream.tv/channel//sweet301. Wow, I didn't goof that one up too much or anything.
don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all your latest updates. Other than that, we'll see you next time.